This Automotive Hotline to hop on here with us and give us your thoughts on the big stories of the day. Nolan finally gets his statue. The Razorbacks are getting the Tyson patches on their jerseys. Texas sucks at basketball. They took down my fighting tree. We'll take all your opinions, your calls, your texts here on the Morning Rush on a Think Tank Thursday, 877-377-6963 to get with us here on the Morning Rush. Myself and Zach Arns. Ty is in Florida golfing, trying to get a little bit better at that, and Tommy is in Washington, D.C. Should be coming back here in just a couple of hours, hopefully landing, and he'll fill us in hopefully tomorrow on all the wonderful bureaucratic things that he had to undertake. But today, it's myself and Zach Arns bringing you through a Think Tank Thursday, all the biggest stories of the day and your thoughts, as well as the opinions of some of the biggest think tanks in the world, which is right now AI. So we'll hear from some stuff from ChatGPT in just a little bit based on the biggest stories of the day. But Zach, you said it yesterday. And I'm thinking maybe Zach's just being himself. He just doesn't like Texas, and he really hadn't seen too much basketball. But you were right, okay, because Texas just had no shot at all last night.
Texas, I don't want to channel my inner Denny Green, but Texas is who we thought they were. They are an overrated, overpuffed, oversaturated program. They think they're great at No, they think they're great at everything. They've got all the money in the world, and they just simply don't know how to use it, and they can't win big games. That is what Texas is in a nutshell. They'll get lucky every now and then, win a game here and there. But Texas is the most overrated program in every sport in America. They're horrible. And they're going to tell you how great they are. They're going to show you all their fancy toys. And when it comes down to, rubber meeting the road, Texas fails. And they fail 99% of the time. Without Vince Young, that Texas football team doesn't win a national title. I mean, Vince Young, Mac Brown proofed their football program. This is what they are. Walking into the game, you knew they had no shot. And with all of the stuff going on around Nolan and by the way, that is long overdue for Nolan to get his statue. Long overdue. And I get very passionate about Nolan because, Nolan was my coach growing up. But this is what Texas is. Every time they get in a big spot, they choke. And no one should be worried about the University of Texas in anything.
Yes, and you know what? I was thinking about that yesterday, and as the game got underway, and I thought to myself, I'm young and I'm dumb, and I just can't help to let some things get under my skin, and we're getting texts flooding in here right now this morning. Bobby in Ashdown, B.E. in Clarksville, bunch of people here texting in right now, wondering about a specific character that tends to call into these shows and tout about Texas. Folks, I'm going to say this as clearly and plainly as I can. My name is Colton Little. I have very little authority when it comes to absolutely anything of any importance here at ESPN Arkansas. But one thing I do control is the phones from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and while I'm here, 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Now, the show that precedes us, they never take his calls because he's afraid to call into their show. The show that's after us, your show, Zach, you don't take his calls because you have better things to talk about. But this is my decree on this day, March the 5th, 2026. Brian in Ozark, you will never call this station again. And if you do, you will never, ever be put on the air. Not because of the fact that your troll attempts are so pitiful that even a 12-year-old boy could think of a better one, but because of the fact that you're calling in to tout about a program that is so far beneath my Arkansas Razorbacks and our Arkansas Razorbacks that I don't even have time for you anymore. And Brian, the only way that you yourself can get yourself back on these airwaves is me and you, mano y mano, in the remnants, put in the mulch of the fighting tree. You want to get back on these airwaves, big Bry guy? You show up at the fighting tree. You know what the address is to this station. You're around. Show up. And then maybe you can get back on the air. You have to beat me first. Fisticuffs, one-on-one. I'm a small guy. You got good chances. But this is it. You're done. Not because you like Texas. We love to hear people call in and give opposing opinions. It's what makes the show alive. I never want to dissuade anybody from calling into this station. 877-377-6963. But Brian and Ozark or Ron and Lamar, whatever the hell you go by these days, you're never calling in here again. And if you are, you're not getting on the air. Your troll attempts suck. You worship a program that is so far beneath Arkansas on the basketball court and on the baseball field, nobody has any more time for you. You are absolutely done. Go pick a different station to troll. I'm not listening to it because it's stupid. It's really dumb. And you know what? We're going to hear some of the stupid things that he said yesterday in just a minute, and that's going to be the very final piece of Brian and Ozark on ESPN Arkansas. That's it.
I like it.
Done.
I like the
I'm
passion.
Done. Look, I'm done. And I know I'm probably overstepping my bounds here. Just a young kid, too excited, but I'm not listening to it anymore. I'm done. We're brought to you this morning by the Inn at the Mill. Okay, I'm gonna get this.
He'll quickly pivot to baseball, and then when that goes south, he pivots to football.
Well,
and it's
done.
You're on the hamster wheel with him.
It's done. He's never calling in again. I want everybody to call in and give dissenting opinions. Tell us that we're wrong. We love that. But I'm not listening to Brian anymore. We're brought to you this morning by the Inn at the Mill. When you need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, we always choose the Inn at the Mill here at ESPN Arkansas. It's centrally located in the heart of Northwest Arkansas at the Johnson exit off of I-49, and it's the most unique choice of hotel in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at Inn at the Mill at 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
I heard Zach say last show that Arkansas was going to blow Texas out, which is hilarious. Since, Texas did go to Alabama and beat Alabama. They beat Georgia in Athens by 20. They lost to UConn by 6, and they lost to Duke by 9 at their place. So, Fayetteville's not any bigger than any of those places. I think this will be a close game. Not saying Texas is going to win, but it will be single-digit win if they do. But anyway, that's my thoughts. You guys have a great day.
That must excite you that you could stay within single digits of Arkansas.
Good one, Clay. That's it, folks. That's the last time you'll hear from Brian in Ozark. As long as I'm working here, as long as I have a salary here at ESPN Arkansas, that's it. You'll never hear from Brian again. And I swear, Christian, you're listening in the other room. Do not put him on the air. I'm not kidding. That's it. We're done. Luckily, we have a good caller on the line here. Paul has given us a call all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. Paul, you're on the Morning Rush this morning. What's going on, my man?
Hey, guys. Was at the game last night, flew back, and was listening to the radio at just your station. Poor guy from Ozark. I'm not going to get on that side of the fence.
No. That's Paul. That's a long beef that's just now finished. But you're calling in here, and you have something intelligent to say. What's going on, Paul?
Yeah. So we go to Duke and UNC and all the things over here, and it's hard to keep up with the Hogs. But what a fun game! And Texas did everybody have a dunk from Arkansas?
Oh, just about.
It seems like every player had at least one. And they just set the tone. That big white guy, number 3, he didn't show that he was a top 10 athlete. And it was just really fun to see, even the history of the coaches. It seems like Cal has taught the team such an appreciation for the history of the team.
Yeah, I think that is one thing that makes me feel good about this whole Cal era right now is that Cal is such a basketball guy. He's been around the block for so long that he has reverence for Coach Nolan Richardson and for what Arkansas basketball was in the 90s and really the impact of Arkansas basketball on the state, because one thing that happened before I was nary even a twinkle in my father's eye is that in the 90s, Zach and Paul, Arkansas was popular fashion, not just because of the fact that the Razorback basketball team was good. You had the president was from Arkansas. The basketball shorts were being worn all across the state. Tyson Chicken and Walmart were on the come up. Arkansas was popular fashion. And Paul, I think you're right. Cal really does lean into that. But you said that you were at the game last night in person and flew back this morning.
Yes, sir.
So how was the crowd last night? So you were there for halftime. You stayed. What was the reaction whenever they finally announced?
It was so
that
fun.
Nolan got a statue.
People came in a little bit late, but the Tysons were sitting a couple of rows in front of me, and there was a buzz. You could just see it was chicken night, right? Mm-hmm. So that was all fun. But then whenever they brought them out, people were kind of like, who is it? And then clearly it was going to be the Tyson announcement. But I don't know that people knew that it was Nolan. Yeah. He came out, and of course he was escorted, and he's in his health issues, but you could just sense the pride. And, it was really fun. Because I heard one of you guys say that was when you were here. That's when I was in Fayetteville, too. And what he brought and just the attention and the passion with the May Day and Oliver Miller. There was a guy, one of the trainers, and he said, boy, if those recruits, I don't know which recruits were here, he said, if they don't get a buzz off of this, and then the Tyson money and the NIL and the commitment and their facilities, and it was really fun. Yeah. I was at the Duke game a couple of years ago, and it rivaled that.
Yeah, well, that's good because there's a few places in college basketball that have as much reverence as Cameron Indoor there at Duke or Chapel Hill as well. So, Paul, I appreciate your call and your perspective this morning. You're welcome to call this station anytime. We will take your calls. You have intelligent things to say.
Can you come? Who's coming back? I mean, who do you guys think for sure is coming back? I couldn't get anyone to really have a good answer.
Good question. So last night, whenever they did the senior night ceremony, I guess, and there wasn't much of a ceremony, Nick Pringle and Trevor Brazile were the two that were being honored. Those were the only two that really had anything going on for senior night. I'd expect both of them to probably move on, but one person that was not mentioned, Zach and Paul, that was a senior technically is Malik Ewan, who still has some eligibility left. So I do imagine we could potentially see him in a Razorback jersey next year. I truly, honestly don't know. Selfishly, I would love to have both Malik and Billy Richmond back and Carter Knox back and really just keep that band together and then definitely bolster up your front court, get some real big bangers down low. But I can't say for one way or another what's actually going to happen, Paul. I'm being selfish.
Yeah, good show, guys.
Hey, thank you, Paul. Your calls are welcome anytime here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline.
Start with a shorter list. Who's leaving? I think Thomas is gone, Acuff's gone, Brazile's gone. I think those are the three guys you can look at and say, okay, they're gone. After that, are we looking? You look at a guy like Isaiah Seeley. I know Isaiah very, very well. Is Isaiah looking for a chance to play, or is he willing to ride this out? Kind of in a Billy Richmond mode. Mm-hmm. I don't think Billy Richmond's going to the NBA. I think there are guys on this roster that you can look at. DJ Wagner, Carter Knox, are these guys that are willing to stick around for a third year? Or are they going to look for another opportunity somewhere? But I think you can look at the three guys, Brazile, Acuff, and Thomas, and say, okay, they're probably gone.
Yeah.
Those are the three spots on the roster that you have to fill. And then from there, it's who do we want to bring in? What do we have to shore up? And that, to me, I think that's the way you attack this.
Yeah, and I think you're right.
And Pringle's gone. Yeah, and Pringle's on his way out.
Yeah, he's gone. But you know what? One thing he did last night that I saw that I hadn't seen from Nick Pringle all year, there was a part early in the game where he got in before he got hacked a couple of times and got some quick fouls. But he covered ground from half court to the free throw line in literally a blink of an eye. He was rim running and running, on the court full speed. And look, if Nick Pringle wants to show up and play like that for the rest of the time that he's here at Arkansas, I think people would be extremely excited about that. Efficient. He only scored, a total of 8 points. Unfortunately, he was at the free throw line twice and only converted, 2 of those attempts. But Nick Pringle, if he can do that every night, I think that is exactly what the Razorbacks are expecting of him, and that would hopefully do very, very well for the Razorbacks as we move in here to wrap up the SEC regular season on Saturday in Como and into the SEC tournament. Let's pivot real quick because one thing I did want to mention this morning that has been talked about yesterday, you guys broke the news of this yesterday afternoon. Coach Lou Holtz died yesterday at 89, and that is going to be our opening drive here this morning in just a minute. One of the things about Coach Holtz is obviously people like to poke fun and make fun of him because of his speech impediment and the lisp and things like that. But to me personally, that is one of the things that makes Lou Holtz command a room the best. And I pulled a clip this morning that unfortunately is best served in a visual medium, and as you are all tuned into the radio, unfortunately. But I just want you to imagine Lou Holtz doing what he's doing in this clip, which is ripping up a newspaper into about 10, 15, 20 tiny little pieces and putting it back together. We're going to remember Lou Holtz here with this clip here, and that's our opening drive.
The newspaper. You have front page for people who want to read the news. You have the comic for people who can't read. And you have the editorial page for people who can't think. But you can't let people tear you up. You can't let people destroy you. You can't let people say you aren't going to be great. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do something. My personal belief is there isn't any obstacle that's going to keep me from being successful. Difficult, you're doggone right. That's why so few people achieve success. Don't let people tear you up. Don't let people tear you down. Don't let people cause you to lose the faith and confidence you have in yourself. Because if you really have a strong faith and a strong belief, oh, wait. Somebody said, how'd I do that? Perfectly, I thought.
This is the opening drive.
Old Lou Holtz right there, always known for his magic tricks and that eccentricity, and he will be sorely missed in college football circles. Zach, I was introduced to Lou Holtz with what you guys mentioned yesterday. Him and Mark May with Reese Davis in those judges' robes at midnight every single Saturday during the college football season when I was allowed to stay up, or even times when I wasn't. Those debates and Lou just getting pissed to the point of where he could barely even speak. was some of the best entertainment I think ESPN has ever put out. And all the things that he did here for the Razorbacks, really taking up the mantle after Frank Broyles, those are really, really hard shoes to fill because obviously the most important person in the history of Razorback athletics. A case could probably be made for Nolan Richardson now, but it is Frank Broyles. And to follow him coming from the New York Jets, he didn't have the easiest way of things here. That, that marriage kind of ended in a little bit sour way. But for a lot of our listeners here, Lou Holtz was the introduction to Razorback football and the success that this state could have on the gridiron.
Yeah, and Lou was. I've had the good fortune to have met Lou several times when I was younger. And
he was most famous for your team, Jack, at Notre Dame.
Yeah. He was my coach, the coach of my youth, my teen years into my 20s, and for about a 6-year period, Notre Dame was as good as any team in the country. They're a top 3 team. I think the younger generation will remember him on TV. What he was one of the best coaches that's ever coached college football. He was a program builder. If you go and look at the programs that he took over, where they started, where they ended up. And his last 2 stops, Notre Dame was really bad when he took over, took them to a national title, and they were a title contender every year the last 6 years of his tenure there. And then he went to South Carolina. People kind of forget that.
Yeah.
He went to South Carolina. They were horrific. And he went in there and laid the foundation for Steve Spurrier to take that thing and get them to the SEC championship game. He took a program in South Carolina that, frankly, was just kind of flailing at the bottom of the SEC, and he turned them around. But that's what he was. He was a program builder. And then in his later years, he just kind of became a caricature of himself, and he never took himself too seriously. I saw him speak a few years ago up in Bentonville, and it's the same story. So I don't care how many times Nolan tells a story or Lou tells a story. They're always entertaining, and he'll always put a little spin on it, and there's always a lesson in it. And I think that's what for those of us that I saw Lou 2 years ago. When I went up to my fantasy camp, and he was up there, and he's always got a message for you, and he always greets you with a smile, and when you talk to him, it was like you knew him your entire life, and I think I've been up 4 times. I was watching some stuff from UND.com and the tributes to Lou, and he's a great coach, and he was a great person, and he every time I met him, he was terrific to me, and that's the only thing I can judge him on is that he was very, very good to me. The few times that I met him.
All right, more on Lou Holtz in just a minute here. That's your opening drive this morning, brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. APAC and Standard Materials Group, your number one source for top-quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. Whether you are working on a small residential project or a large-scale commercial job, APAC has got you covered. No job is too big or too small, and if you need expert advice, our construction consultant services ensure that you are always on the right track. Call 479-587-3300 for all of your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. APAC and Standard Materials Group. That's 479-587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group. So with Lou Holtz, I'm reminded of 2 things. I saw a tweet last night from Mike Greenberg, who talked about when he was doing a SportsCenter show one time, he had to interview Lou Holtz that day, and he was walking with Lou, telling him about himself and things like that. He had just said that he had a new baby boy. This was Greeny talking to Lou Holtz, and Lou Holtz apparently stopped dead in his tracks and told Greeny that he needs to make sure that child knows every day how much that Mike Greenberg loves the mother of that child. And I think as a young father, that's one thing that stuck with me just reading stuff about Lou Holtz yesterday, and I'll definitely remember that. And as always, one of the things I think about with Lou Holtz is the scene in The Blind Side whenever Michael Orr is getting recruited by all the schools in the SEC, and they're all trying to pitch also to his younger brother as well, which is really who you need to pitch to sometimes. And Lou Holtz gets in there, and he's playing himself, obviously, and he says, "I'll get you a Gamecock headdress with real feathers." And I thought that was just hilarious, and I'm always reminded of that. But we will miss Lou Holtz around the college football world. That is definitely one thing that I think Razorback fans can remember about Lou Holtz is he was always eccentric. I mean, he was on Johnny Carson. He put a hog hat on Johnny Carson's head whenever the Tonight Show was watched in every single home in America. I mean, Lou Holtz is just one of one, and he will be sorely, sorely missed here in Arkansas. We're brought to you this morning by Pradco and the Booyah Mobster. The Booyah Bait Company is made in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the hottest swimming jib on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob locally here in Arkansas and Oklahoma and is winning tournaments on Lake Dardanelle and Kerr Lake like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged, matted grass, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. They're available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma. The Booyah Mobster by Pradco. All right. Couple more minutes here, just about 1 or 2 in this opening segment. I've got a couple things that I need to get off my chest here, and it is a Think Tank Thursday as well, so we do have some things from ChatGPT. I did ask Chat if I should ever let Brian call in again, just to be sure that I wasn't overreacting. Here's what Chat had to say about that.
No.
Thank you, chat. That's very good. We'll check in with chat here in just a little bit as well. I do want to know what it thinks about the Tyson chicken patches on the jerseys, as well as if there's anybody else that deserves a statue at the University of Arkansas. And then we have Tom Murphy coming up, as always, on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. And Tom had a pretty funny question for Arkansas pitcher Ethan McIlvain, who sports maybe one of the most baddest Fu Manchus I've ever seen. And Tom asked him about that. So I also thought to myself, man, what is the best style of facial hair? I do feel like the Fu Manchu is up there. So we'll get chat's opinion on that. And your calls and texts as well on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Coming back in just a minute with your hog update here on the Morning Rush. Don't go anywhere. Myself and Zach Arns here getting you through it.
Follow the show on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you right now, you're holding that microphone kind of loose. You might want to hold on to that microphone a little bit harder.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for, only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH25 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
There's only one thing I'd like for you to do. It's to call the hog.
This is The Morning Rush.
Take your tax refund the extra mile with a road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle at Rath Auto Resources. We've been working around the clock to beef up our inventory, and we're proud to say this is our best, largest selection of road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles ever. With so many to choose from, price to sell, and back-to-back comprehensive warranty, there's no reason to settle for less. Come see why your friends and neighbors voted us the River Valley's #1 pre-owned car dealer, and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
Stay warm and dry this winter with Byrne and Carhartt winter workwear. Muck, dry shod, and extra tough rubber footwear to keep those toes dry. Winter clearance racks are full of casual and hunting clothing at 50% off. A select group of Western boots now 50% off. Crappie season is coming, and fishing gear is arriving daily. Jelco Outdoors. Work, hunt, fish. That's what we do. Jelco Outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Dental emergencies do not wait, and neither should you. At Valley Urgent Dental, they're here for you on the weekends, whether it's a broken tooth, a painful infection, or a crown that's come loose. Dr. Kendall Roberts and Dr. Doug Terry are ready to help. Why wait till Monday? Call 479-235-5655 now. Valley Urgent Dental is located at 5505 Uper Lane behind Golden Corral in Fort Smith. Valley Urgent Dental, emergency dental care when you need it most.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Founded in 1950, Crabtree RV Center has grown into one of the River Valley's largest RV dealerships, proudly serving Northwest Arkansas, specializing in sales, parts, and service. We're truly your one-stop shop for all your RV needs. Conveniently located with easy access to I-40 and I-49, we're 40 minutes from Northwest Arkansas and just as close to our friends in Oklahoma, carrying top brands like Grand Design, Coachman, East to West, and Forest River. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hotline, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their ham-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Come on, man.
Gage Wood, no hits him. Allen has a wide open man. It's Childs. He's loose. He scores. Childs, please.
Well, Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
ARKNSAS.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Go Hog.
How about Nolan's statue? You know, they put an addendum in my contract that I had to go out and clean that thing once a week. So if there's bird poop on it, it's up to me to go wipe it off, which I will do in a pleasant way. I would love it. He's been so good to me since I've been here. And I'm going to tell you again, that one thing I said to Hunter, you guys are talking to me, has anybody talked to Coach Richardson to make sure he's good with this? And he said, yeah, Coach said he'd be exactly what, so he was in my corner from day one.
That's Coach John Calipari right there joking around about how he's now being tasked with having to wipe the bird poop off of the Ellen Richardson statue out there. Any birds listening this morning, don't poop on the man's statue. It's been several years, decades in the waiting. We should have built that for him. That's the big news yesterday. That was the big secret that Chuck and Bo were talking about, that you two also talked about yesterday on your show in the afternoon, that you thankfully let me in on the secret before it happened. But
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. But that was probably one of the coolest things about last night, was that Coach Richardson knew that it was going to happen eventually. He didn't exactly know when. They thought he was just being honored once again, and they surprised him with that statue. Zach, like you said earlier, this was a long time coming.
Long time coming. I'll tell you a quick story. But first time I ever met Coach Richardson, I was a freshman in college, and Nolan was bigger than life. I mean, they were. Yes. I mean, it was Nolan Richardson. Right. So I'm working at our local ABC affiliate, and everybody else was out doing something. News director grabs me, says Nolan's going to speak. Can you go down and record it? Sure, why not? Yeah, I'm going to go, and I'm going to run down there, and like Mike Irwin was there, and I think Clay was there, Bob was there. I mean, all of the luminaries were there. Yeah. All the heavy hitters were there, and me. And I'm standing, I got there early, and truth be told, I didn't know how to run the camera. So all I was doing, I was interning, and all I was doing was like watching tape and marking tapes. That's all I was allowed to do up to that point. But I grabbed a camera because I know how to use it. I said, I'll figure it out when I get down there. I go down, and I am front and center. I am probably 3-4 feet from Nolan, and after practice he comes over and he's getting ready to speak, and I had one question to ask. Our sports director Kevin Barnes had given me one sheet of paper, and all I had to do was get the one question out. And I go to ask the question. I got the mic out, got the camera on my shoulder, and I go to try and get the question out. And I can't do it. It's Nolan. I'm like terrified of the man, and all I could do is make this little squeaking noise. And Nolan looks around and goes, "Anybody else?" And then, and I'm humiliated because I can't go anywhere because I'm trapped because, we're all kind of huddled around. I can't just slink away. So the press conference goes on. I'm standing there with I dropped the mic. I'm not asking another question. I'm out. So after we're done, I'm putting my camera away, and you ever get that feeling like the hair stands up on the back of your neck because there's somebody behind you, and it was Nolan, and he looked at me and he goes, "Do you want to try it again?" And I said, "Yes, sir." So now I'm all excited, right? I pull the camera out, and I've got Nolan one-on-one. I asked the best question. I mean, I asked it in my best Peter Jennings voice. Nolan answers the question. I'm so excited. I throw the stuff in the bag. I race back to the studio. I kick the door up, and I got a one-on-one with Nolan. I throw the tape in there. I forgot to hit record.
Oh, man. Oh, no. That's tough. Yeah.
It was one of the most humiliating days of my life. Yeah. But that was Nolan in a nutshell. Nolan was gruff on the outside, very soft on the inside. And every time I'm trying to think the last time I talked to him was probably about 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And even when he picks up the phone, he'll go, "Zachary." And the hair will stand up on my arm.
Makes you nervous, yeah.
It really does. I mean, he was the coach of my college years, and he was larger than life. And for him to finally get the statue, I think, was long overdue.
I always love the quote from Corey Beck that talks about how he used to say to them, "If you ever see me in a street fight with a bear, you better go and help that bear." I think that encapsulates what Nolan Richardson was, and now he will be forever immortalized with that statue outside of Bud Walton Arena, and it's well-deserved. 22 years combined as a head coach at the collegiate level. He's the only head coach to win a National Junior College Championship, NIT Championship, and the NCAA Championship.
And he was that coach, like, he didn't care. Mm-hmm. Like, you could come to practice, like, sit in the stands, watch practice. He would invite, "Come on in. You can see what we're doing. You can't stop it."
Absolutely.
And it was a golden time in Arkansas basketball because the players were still accessible. Like, I went to class with Robert Shepard. Mm-hmm. I had Lee Mayberry in classes. I had Todd Day in classes. And the players were still accessible. You could go to the Hyper. They might be down there playing one day. I played high school basketball with Isaiah Morris. So you had kind of an in with these guys, and it was pre-internet. It was great, and it's a time that was maybe we build it up more than it was, but it was special. It was really, really special, and he was right in the middle of it. He was Arkansas. I think he is Arkansas basketball.
Other news in your Hog Update here. Darius Jacob Jr. was named a first-team All-American by the College Hoops today with John Rothstein. It was announced today he's having an absolutely incredible season. Probably going to be the only player to ever lead the SEC outside of Pete Maravich in scoring and assist, and he gets the first of many All-American tabs this season. Arkansas women's basketball saw their season come to an end yesterday at the SEC tournament in Greenville. They lost to Kentucky by a pretty wide margin, unfortunately. And that's going to do it for your Hog Update here this morning. It's brought to you by Bet Saracen. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. And for those who like to make a little wager on their favorite sporting event, Bet Saracen is as close as your cell phone, which is probably in your hands right now. Unless you're driving, it should be in the cup holder or in your pocket or in the opposing seat. If you want to follow the odds, favorites, and underdogs, Bet Saracen is where you want to be. And realize that Vegas odds are one thing, but you have to be there to legally bet on them. You need to be on the Bet Saracen app. It's simple. Just go to the App Store, download Bet Saracen, or go to BetSaracen.com, and be sure to check out the really cool video of how to play. You get a welcome bonus as well. You sign up and you use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25 and place a $25 bet. And once that settles, you have $125 in free bets. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's most popular sportsbook app in the state. All right, we're wrapping up here for your Hog Update, coming back with the Morning Rush Daily Question here on ESPN Arkansas and live on the Hit That Line Now app. Down and load it right now today in the App Store. Hit That Line Now, and you can listen to us anywhere you go. It's the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. Morning Rush Daily Question coming up in just a minute. Stay tuned here on the Morning Rush.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Guys, I commend you. You're working at it. Good job. Thank you very much.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for, only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com, RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH25 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices, like ping pong, right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
In my time, and I'll just go 34 years, I've never seen a point guard better.
This is the Morning Rush.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Since 1974, the folks in the River Valley have trusted West Ark Yamaha in Fort Smith for quality and service you just can't find at those big box stores. Now expanding into zero-turn mowers, West Ark Yamaha carries Bobcat, a high-quality commercial mower built to perform, and World Lawn, the best value in zero-turn mowers. Plus, they stock Husqvarna chainsaws and Red Max blowers and trimmers. West Ark Yamaha services what they sell. Right now, get 0% financing on all mowers. West Ark Yamaha, serving Fort Smith since 1974.
Ace has always been the helpful place, and now we're even more helpful by offering instant savings to Ace Rewards members. Not a member? Just sign up at Mentor's Lumber Ace Hardware to start saving right at the register. Right now, save $30 on select DeWalt 20-volt max tools or $20 on select Ego outdoor power equipment after instant savings with your Ace Rewards card. Ace, the helpful place. Must be an Ace Rewards member to receive instant savings. Available through the end of the month. See participating stores for details.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com, LIMBIRD.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's place in Lowell online at carpathsocial.com.
All right, originally I had a question about whether or not we would see the same Trevor Brazil that we saw last night for the rest of the year, but I really don't. I really don't know. We love Trevor Brazil. He had a fantastic night last night on senior night. Finished with an amazing stat line. I believe it was 28 total points. He had 2 steals, 3 block shots. He grabbed 7 rebounds. He was 9 for 11 from the field, including 3 of 5 from behind the stripe. The obvious answer to that question is yes. If we saw that Trevor Brazil, we would go very far. So instead, I have another Morning Rush Daily question for you here, and we would love some fan and listener feedback here on a Think Tank Thursday. We're going to treat this next segment here, this little bit, as a focus group, which is what the University of Arkansas hopefully did, maybe didn't do, before they released the announcement yesterday that Tyson Foods would be putting their patches on all of the Razorback jerseys, all 19 sports. They trotted them out there last night. Some of them looked good. Some of them looked, My question for you is, the listener, this morning, is it tacky? I don't care. I don't listen. I do not. I am not in the camp that it's tacky. I'm going to answer first. It's not. I do not care how it looks. The softball one is a little bit too big on the patch. It's just my opinion. But I think that overall, it's not that invasive. It's the same red color. The yellow kind of stands out a little bit. But really, is it tacky? Because to me, I don't care how it looks. 90% of the proceeds from it go to our NIL. So that's all that I care about. Where does that money go? And it goes directly to paying your student athletes, which is what you have to do to play with the big boys. Zach, what do you think about these jersey patches?
Look, this is like the last Rubicon taboo putting. I remember, and you're way too young to remember this, but I remember when Jerry Jones put the Nike swoosh on the Dallas Cowboys uniforms in the mid '90s, and how big a deal that was. And suddenly, the manufacturers were into putting. Look at European soccer. I mean, all it is advertisements on the uniform. The only thing that's recognizable is the color. Mm-hmm. This was going to happen at some point. Somebody was going to put their logo on a jersey. My question is there any ROI on it, return on investment? Is it worth however much you're going to pay? Yesterday they were very vague about how much this money, how much money this actually is. And okay, you don't want to give your opponents any sort of idea what you're up to. Okay, cool, I get that. I said this on our show yesterday. It's like when the kids are out selling like popcorn for a fundraiser, you keep going back to your friends and family. At some point, you've got to start to develop new customers. We keep going back to Tyson. Walmart apparently is not, is in. They're halfway in. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what happens when Tyson decides this isn't the best? This isn't the best way to do this. Then what do you do? But for now, I think it's a step forward. I don't know if it gets you in the game, if it puts you ahead of the game, or where it puts you, but it is a step. And certainly they had a good PR night last night.
Yes.
With the whole Nolan thing, you announced the Tyson thing. They had a good day. Mm-hmm. And then you went and housed Texas, which is always fun. Yeah. Now, and again, this is all aimed at football. This is not, basketball was not in peril. Basketball didn't need an infusion of money. Basketball is rolling along just fine. This is aimed at football.
Yeah.
Come September, is the new influx of money going to help you beat Utah, help you beat Georgia? That's all that matters. And if putting patches on the jersey is what does it, cool. Yeah. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. All I care about is the final score. And that's all anybody at this point should care about.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Obviously, I don't want it to get to the point to where you have to have 6-7 different sponsors on your jersey just to keep up with the Joneses and around the rest of the SEC. But this is the first of its kind. And this is the one thing that I've tried to really think about this is, look, the other team, the other school that has this for all their other, every single one of their sports is LSU. And it's some local energy company. It doesn't quite have the pull of what Tyson Foods does across this country. So I have to give props to Hunter Yurachek on this. He was on a heater recently, getting this statue done, getting this Tyson patch on there. These are moving in the right direction, especially the patch thing. You're the first of your kind to do this. And that is a good thing because you remember they dragged their feet and kicked that can down the road about supporting the football program with NIL and getting their money to not be funny. And finally, it appears that they've gotten in the right rooms with the right people and they've shaken enough hands to make this happen. I think that this is a good thing. And like you said, I could care less how many patches are on the jersey. You can call them the Arkansas Razor Chickens. If they win games, you're not going to hear a peep from me. I also wanted to know what Chat thought on the new Tyson chicken patches here, but he had to say.
Maybe a little, but if a chicken patch helps.
I asked him if they were tacky. This is what he said.
Maybe a little,
But if a chicken patch helps pay the players, I'll take a nugget on the jersey over an empty roster.
That's right. That's right. If it helps you pay the players, that's probably going to be the most important thing about this. I saw a lot of stuff on the timeline, and I have to remind myself that social media isn't always real, but I just saw a bunch of people that were just incensed about the fact that this was the straw that broke the camel's back. College sports has finally gone too far. Are you kidding? Are you really kidding? They've been doing nefarious, stupid, awful things in all of college football for so long. And so finally, you're trying to put a little bit of extra money into this to help the student athletes that make millions of dollars for your university every year. Get lost. This is not the straw that broke the camel's back. This was inevitable. The toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't put it back in. That's all I have to say about that. So we got some text here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline as well. I'll read some of those in your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you this morning by our good friends at Cart Path Social, Northwest Arkansas's #1 destination for indoor golf. They've got tons of TVs in there. It's the perfect place to watch the SEC tournament, March Madness, and Hog Baseball this spring. Lots of opportunity for you to get in there, relax, work on your game as well, and it's a BYOB establishment. So they have a couple of snacks and some basic beverages there, but if you want to really have a party, you are welcome to bring your own beer as well. They have 75-plus team members that you can bring to an event. You can golf, socialize. They have meetings. You can do birthday parties, corporate events, retirement parties, gender reveals. I'm sure they can do it for you there at Cart Path Social. 122 Grant Place in Lowell. Give them a call today, 479-487-3622, or you can give them a call and book your online reservation today. That's Cart Path Social, Northwest Arkansas's #1 destination for indoor golf. I love the fact that the Razorbacks have finally gotten to the point to where, like I said, it looks like they're not behind the times anymore. This is one thing in which they're standing in front of it, and they're also not giving people a blueprint for how to make these deals as well by keeping some of that money, some of those terms and conditions a little bit out of the public eye right now. I think this is a good thing for the university, and like I said, the athletic department and the AD up there is on a little bit of a heater, so we will give him some of his flowers this morning, Zach.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show me. There's going to be a lot of promises made, and since we don't know what the financials are, I don't think a deal with Tyson puts you at the head of the class. Yeah. I think there are still schools that are generating more in third party income than Arkansas is. My concern is, are you out of the basement as far as the SEC goes? Does this move you to the middle of the pack or the upper third of the pack? That's really all that matters at this point. And when we see, and again, you'll see it over time. Does the money change the outcomes? Mm-hmm. That's all that matters. I don't think you're competing with the Ohio States. Ohio State is just printing money hand over fist. Indiana apparently has a very large NIL pool. Is this enough to pay for a $60 million football roster? That's my question. Is this going to help you get competitive, or are we just trying to keep up with the middle of the SEC? That's really, to me, that's the if you will, the $60 million question.
Because I think a lot of fans, just because of the fact that they're weathered and they're worn and they've just been browbeaten so long by this miserable output of the Arkansas football team, that nobody is expecting them to just automatically start winning 9, 10 games, 8 games a year. We'd be extremely happy, I think, with going 7-5, 7-5, 8, just being competitive, like you said, not sitting in that basement all the time to where football just becomes an afterthought and you can't get those investments as well. But I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I think it's a good thing overall, and hopefully the Arkansas Razor Chickens will be able to continue to do some of their winning ways on the football, basketball, and baseball field. I want to pivot right here talking about baseball right there. We have Tom Murphy coming up in just a minute. He asked Arkansas pitcher Ethan McIlvain about his recent sporting of some facial hair, and I just want to get into this real quick before we get to Tom at 10 o'clock.
Ethan, back in the day, we called that a Fu Manchu. And Al Hrabowski,
that's what we still call it.
Still call it the Fu Manchu. So is it a thing like intimidation factor, or why you got it?
No, my dad is a firefighter in Tennessee, and he's got one. And at one point when I transferred, I was allowed to have facial hair again. So I was like, I might try to do that, see what it looks like. And I got it to grow out and everything, and I was like, man, I think that looks pretty good. So I just kept it, and I like it. So.
It's a good one.
It sure is. It sure is. Tom says it's a good one, and I have to agree with it. If you haven't seen the post-game interview with Ethan McIlvain and Zach Stewart from their game against Oral Roberts this past week on Tuesday. You definitely need to tune into that just to see what Tom is talking about and get a real picture in your mind of just how incredible Ethan McIlvain's Fu Manchu is. Zach, like myself, I know that you tend to, I have this little tiny caterpillar that runs across my lip. That's just to make myself feel good and have a little bit of self-confidence, have some sense of masculinity about myself. I noticed that as like a professional broadcaster, you yourself are clean-shaven. In your opinion, if you could sport a really solid amount of facial hair any way you wanted, what would it be? How would you look? Would you do the single mustache? Would you go with the full Matt Jones, the outdoorsman? What would you want to do?
I back in the fall, I grew a beard. I let it go for about a month, and my daughter shamed me into shaving it. So I'm not a big facial hair guy because it itches.
It does,
and like my face itches. So it's just not something that I've ever done. I think the longest I've ever gone was for a Halloween where I was Elvis. I let it grow out for about 2 months, and I had actual mutton chop sideburns for Halloween, and then shaved them off like November the 1st. A beard is the only way to go. I can't do these other incarnations.
Did you dye your hair jet black? And was it which Elvis was this? Was this like
Fat
50s?
Elvis? Look, if we're having an Elvis discussion, Fat Elvis is superior to Skinny Elvis, and that's not debatable. In the Ghetto is better than anything he did prior to that.
Live in Honolulu, 1972, where he goes up there and he's doing glory. He's just up there.
Look,
that's probably one of the
draw
greatest
a line
things all time.
You draw a line at the 68 comeback special. Everything after that is terrific. Everything before that,
Well, that's an interesting take this morning, and I do appreciate that. We'll get Tom's thoughts on that question as well coming up here in just a minute at 10 o'clock when we talk to him. But yes, that was something that just piqued my interest yesterday when I heard that. I thought to myself, man, if I could really grow a good amount of facial hair, I think I'd want to do the Matt Jones and just keep a soup saver there, just be picking stuff out of my beard. There'd be birds flying in and out.
Yeah, that would
all
drive
the
me
time.
nuts.
I don't know how he does it. I have absolutely zero clue.
A lot of respect for Matt for being able to do that, and like his attention to detail with that is a lot better than mine.
Very neatly manicured. Like it doesn't look scraggly. It looks like he keeps he definitely runs some oils or something like that through there occasionally from time to time.
I tell my daughter I've got facial hair ADD, so I've got to change it every couple of weeks.
Yeah. We're brought to you this morning here by Mock Legal Solutions. They've opened a second location in Salisaw. They have one already in Fort Smith. The one in Salisaw is across from the courthouse to better serve Sequoia and the Flora counties. Not only do they handle all family law, the Jackie has 13 years in car wrecks, slips and falls, dog bite cases. So let her help you get an insurance check or a wreck check. They understand times are hard, and most of us working class can't afford to pony up those $5,000 for retainers and then get asked for more money down the road. So they offer flat fees, low down payments, and payment plans. The laws have changed, and yes, joint custody is the default, but they are not afraid to go to trial and are successful when they do. Visit our friends today at www.mocklegalsolutions.com. All right, that's our first hour here. Coming up in just a minute, we got Tom Murphy. We'll hear his thoughts on the game last night. He had a nice piece on DVH as well and the mustache stuff.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER. This is the Morning Rush.
Take your tax refund the extra mile with a road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle at Rath Auto Resources. We've been working around the clock to beef up our inventory, and we're proud to say this is our best, largest selection of road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles ever. With so many to choose from, price to sell, and back-to-back comprehensive warranty, there's no reason to settle for less. Come see why your friends and neighbors voted us the River Valley's #1 pre-owned car dealer, and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
Taco Bell's new Lutz Value Menu has 10 extravagant indulgences, all $3 or less. As their official Lutziers, I get a lot of questions about it from people who let the Lutz go to their heads. Like the ones who get the new mini taco salad in its crispy tortilla shell bowl and want to know if they should be eating it with a mini taco salad fork. Which, no. Just use the fork that comes in the bag. Don't let the Lutz go to your head. Try Taco Bell's new $3 or less Lutz Value Menu today. At participating Taco Bell stores while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a store card. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The Great American Conference Basketball Championships are coming to Fort Smith, Arkansas, March 5th through the 8th at Fort Smith Northside High School. See the best men's and women's teams in the GAC battle it out for an automatic bid into the NCAA Division II tournament. Get your tickets and more information for the Great American Conference Tournament at greatamericanconference.com. It's the GAC Basketball Championships, March 5th through the 8th in Fort Smith.
Get ready for Mudbug Mayhem, the crawfish festival that's a true celebration of community, family, and culture. Join us March 7th at Chaffee Crossing Historic District for Cajun-inspired food, live music, local vendors, and a sizzling crawfish cook-off. Check out the car show, the cornhole contest. There's activities for all ages, and you can make memories with friends and family. Don't miss the fun. Mudbug Mayhem Crawfish Festival, March 7th. It's free to get in. Learn more at mudbugmayhemfest.com.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Has your spouse suddenly entered the transfer portal, going from a franchise player to a prima donna ready to take the money and run? Don't let her get away with a huge buyout. Be proactive. Call Mock Legal Solutions today to ask about custody, alimony, and child support. 479-769-1505. Because even in divorce, the best offense is a good defense. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
I think we should start seeing other people.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Our high temperatures will be into the low 70s north, upper 70s south. We dry things out a little tonight, and overnight low will drop down low 60s. A few scattered showers or thunderstorms back with us on Friday, upper 70s, and then some strong to severe weather still possible as we head through Friday night. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, you're listening to ESPN 95.3. ERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. You could drink beer, the superior light beer for the social athlete.
There's only one thing I'd like for you to do. So turn the ball. Brazil to the other end and a windmill jam. Driving Brazil with the game's first field goal, and the Hogs are up 6-2.
In my time, and I'll just go 34 years, I've never seen a point guard better.
Thomas out of there with it. Now Texas knocks it away from behind. Loose ball. Thomas with it. Left side. A-Cup three-pointer good. Texas throws it in. Wagner steals the inbounds. DJ to the other end. Threw it off the glass. Left it for Richmond and Billy Dunk. And this one's in the books. The Razorbacks have knocked off Texas 105-85. A grand finish to the home schedule, and the Razorbacks win for the 22nd time this season.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, produced by Colton Little.
We're young, we're dumb, we just want to drive fast.
With Colton Little.
I apologize, Derek. I couldn't let that slide.
And Zach Arns.
They cut down the fighting tree?
This is the Morning Rush.
It sure is, and it's a different crew here this morning, as you heard right there in your open. Just to fill everybody in who might be tuning in right now here at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. It's myself, Colton Little. You usually hear me just palling around with the guys, but now I'm running the ship today. They've let the inmates run the asylum, and I had to welcome my good friend Zach Arns, who is my prison guard today. He's
calling me an inmate?
Well, more or less. So you're kind of like the guard, making sure that I don't run too far out of line right here. Welcome back into the Morning Rush to Think Tank Thursday. Boy, what a night last night. You heard right there in the open. Sean Miller, Texas head coach, giving lots of props to Darius Acuff, potentially being the best point guard he's seen in his 34 or 30, whatever he said, years of coaching. That is an awesome, awesome compliment from to give to a young player like that. And I know Darius Acuff was very thankful in his post-game interview as well. That has been one of the biggest stories of the Arkansas basketball season so far. It's that you saw Darius Acuff play for the last time in Bud Walton Arena last night. He's going to be a one-and-done player, probably a top 10 pick. Definitely, hopefully, the SEC Player of the Year, and potentially, if he has a great run in the NCAA tournament, he could be your National Player of the Year. Darius Acuff is a one-of-one talent, and boy, was he working it last night, Zach.
Yeah, he was on fire last night, and I would expect Coach Miller to say nothing less than you get lit up for 28. I mean, what are you going to say?
We've gone through this on every show that we have on this network. I mean, Acuff is a very special talent. It's hard to project a guy at 6'2" to the NBA, but I think he's got a reasonable chance to play a long time in the NBA. I think that's fair. I think he'll probably be in the top 15. Size may be one of those things that precludes like a top 10 pick because they draft on potential, and one of those calculus is size. There's no doubt he's probably the SEC Player of the Year, or should be the SEC Player of the Year. National Player of the Year, I think there's some guys that are having terrific years, so maybe we put that on the shelf. But last night he's one of those guys, man. When he controls the game, Arkansas is in good shape. I've said this all year that he needs whatever his option B is for nights like Florida when he's not quite on. That's going to be Arkansas's Achilles heel when they get into the tournament. Matchups are going to be huge for them. Run into a team with really good bigs. It's going to be one of those white knucklers. If not, I think you're okay.
Yes, sir. And I do think that one of the things that also makes Darius Acuff a good player, he's also got some really good facial hair. And speaking of facial hair, we bring in our good friend Tom Murphy, who was Tom, I heard this question that you asked to Ethan McElvain this past week during the midweek about his Fu Manchu, and that just really, truly, honestly tickled me, and it made me imagine a young Tom Murphy sporting a Fu Manchu. Tom, back in your day, did you rock any facial hair? Were you sporting the full beard? How did you rock the facial hair? You're a consummate professional now, so you keep it clean shaven, but back in the day, you ever let it go? You ever let it grow?
Well, guys, always a pleasure to join you, and you gave me so much to chew on just from what I heard coming in. But I will say, yes, I've had a Fu Manchu before. I've had all kind of facial hair looks. I've done the Ambrose Burnside, for which sideburns were named. I have done all kind of things. And, of course, you get the Al Hrabowski vibe when you look at Ethan McElvain. So that's why I asked him. And then my daughter warned me, well, Fu Manchu could be offensive to some people. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know the origins of Fu Manchu. It's just what we called it. So anyway,
that's what they
yes,
call it,
yeah, they do. And I've had all kind of facial hair. And let me tell you, Zach, you're talking about height on Darius Acuff. Let me tell you, Allen Iverson was a hot commodity in the NBA, and I don't think he was 6'2". And Acuff, I think, is a more physical specimen. So I think he's got value for the NBA.
I actually played against Allen Iverson in high school. Allen, they listed him at 6'1". He won 6'1". I'm about 6'1.5", and he was shorter than I was. But with him, it's all about fit. He feels like Jamal Murray to me. I don't know if he's going to run in, a team that needs a point guard, a true point guard to kind of run the show. I think he's a perfect fit. If there's a team in the top 10 looking for that, I see no reason why he wouldn't be the first pick. But if you're looking for him to carry a franchise, they'd like the bigger guards. If he was 6'6", like SGA, no question, he'd be a top 3 pick. I don't think that would be any question.
Yeah. Well, and, obviously he's got some defensive improvement to make to be a really well-rounded guy. But his offensive game, that's why Sean Miller – and here's the thing. You said that what else could Sean Miller say? But let me tell you, there are coaches who have different maybe agendas and all, but Sean Miller is of Pittsburgh, of the John Calipari mold. They're buddies. John Calipari recruited him. He was so complimentary. I just listened to his entire 7-minute press conference back over again, and I'm writing about this today. He made so many salient points about this team and why they're good, when they're good, why they're good, what happened to his team last night. He made the analogy of they were running in mud and Arkansas was on a fast, highway and that kind of stuff. He talked about Acuff. He talked about so many things that I think Arkansas fans will be interested in knowing. And he did not have to be that complimentary, but I was just really wowed by all the things he said.
I find his, when you start talking about comps to Acuff, one of the things that I love about his game is he can get his own shot when he wants to. There are a lot of guards that are dependent on coming off screens or, spot shooters. Man, all you got to do is line him up one-on-one with somebody, and he can get off a quality shot. That's the thing at the next level that they're gonna look at when he goes to the combine and goes through all of that stuff. But for what Arkansas does, I mean, he is lethal. I just worry about his usage rate, as we get into March, and can he carry the load? Because it's very clear he's their alpha, and there's nobody else that can carry that team the way they do if he's struggling. So if he can get his own shot up and he's getting quality shots, man, let him go. If he goes for 50, awesome. I'm all for this. But he's a marvel. I can't think of a comp at Arkansas that I've come across in my time here other than Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson was a different style player.
Yeah. Well, just compare him to Boogie Flan last year. I mean, and I know Boogie's freshman year, he just wasn't as physically built, and he got knocked off, on drives. He would get knocked to the floor. He didn't convert him as often as Acuff. Acuff has a way of taking the impact, staying on balance, and putting bank shots in. And he did not do that as successfully at Florida because I thought he was further out on the floor by a foot or two on his drives. And I also was worried about his usage rate, especially when his ankle was bothering him. But as Cal pointed out last night in the postgame, he seemed healthier. So I think his ankle was feeling better. And there's so many vibes that came from last night that, Arkansas is basically pointed in the right direction. Now, I don't think we can count on Pringle providing what he did night after night like he did last night. Same with Brazile. His shooting last night was, beyond his norm. And same with DJ Wagner coming off the bench and doing what he did. So we have to temper our expectations some. But it does let you see when Arkansas is at its best how dangerous they can be for any team, particularly because of Acuff's ability to go one-on-one against anybody he could be matched up with. And even if he drives, he's going to draw help, and it will leave three-point shooters open. And he is so phenomenal with his vision and knowing when, okay, not only is my guy still on my hip, but I got a big coming over, I'm going to pass it out. He's really good at that.
And I know this is going to sound dumb, but he loves contact. He's not afraid of it. So when he goes in, I mean, there's a singular reason you're going in, which is put the ball in the basket. A lot of guys will go in there and just try and draw the foul, but he's in there trying to draw the foul, put the ball in the basket, or dish it to somebody. He doesn't care about the contact. He reminds me of a 6'2" Anthony Black, where Anthony would drive down lane, no regard for his body whatsoever. But Anthony was just a little bit bigger. He's the same sort of player.
Yeah. You know what? And we've talked so much about Acuff, and he's due that. And what I was happy to see is kind of after the game was over, he went back out and made a pass through the student section and got high fives all through there. And you knew, this is the last time we're going to see this kid, a phenomenal talent at Walton Arena. But he is he's the engine, but there are so many parts. Cal was just basically giddy last night. It's March. I'm happy his team came off of a really nice win where, in contrast to the Florida game, where after the first 5 minutes, as in his words, they caved in. In this, after the first 5, they kept the pressure up and essentially took Texas out of the game by being physical, by challenging Vocatitis at the rim, and just basically throwing the first punch and not letting up.
Tom Murphy's our guest here on the Morning Rush. You can read him on Whole Hog Sports and in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. We got a text here on our hotline that said he's a Beck and Mayberry love child. Of course, he reminds you of one of those great Nolan players, Tom, and Nolan is finally getting himself immortalized with the statue in front of Bud Walton Arena. Tom, what was the vibe last night in Bud Walton after it was announced that the man that basically built that arena was finally going to be immortalized forever out front and cast in bronze?
Well, right before I got on with you guys, I was working on a story I'm doing for tomorrow, or today for tomorrow. But it was basically the vibe in the arena. I mean, the way they started against Texas, the crowd was just in a total uproar. And then that surge right before halftime.
Yes.
You know, Malik Thomas gets away with a little nudge, and they get the ball back, and he throws it to Acuff, and he hits a three. I mean, the crowd was on fire. And then to have the Tyson Foods announcement and Nolan at halftime, I cannot think of a newsier day in recent memory where you had the Tyson Foods thing, the Nolan statue thing, a huge win over Texas, who was, I mean, the rivalry that Nolan had with Texas, for folks who don't remember, that was massive back in the day. Him and Tom Penders and Abe Lemon going at it, you know, and then, you know, the Eddie Sutton and Abe Lemon as well, but they got after it. And so you add that to Lou Holtz, and thankfully, you know, we knew he was in hospice. We had stuff pre-written, but I thought we had nice tributes, obits to Lou Holtz. I can't think of a newsier day than yesterday, y'all.
Yes, it was packed full of news, and you mentioned that sequence right there before the end of the first half.
Thomas out of there with it. Now Texas knocks it away from behind. Loose ball. Thomas with it. Left side, Acuff three-pointer good.
I thought that the dagger was early whenever Trevin Brazile hit that windmill, and it was only 6-2, and Miller called a timeout just a few minutes, just a few minutes of game time after that. But Tom, the vibe in the arena whenever that was going on, with the news, with the honor of Nolan Richardson, I think you got it right. It was one of the newsier days in all of basketball, and hopefully they can keep this juice flowing moving on towards the SEC tournament. Tom, I'm going to pivot real quick to baseball. We talked about Ethan McIlvain earlier as well. We'll probably see him in action this weekend versus Stetson. I read your piece as well on Whole Hog Sports, and this was one of the lines that I think really encapsulates what some of the fan base might be feeling right now, because there was a lot of murmurs about dropping some midweek games to Arkansas State, a part of that series to UTA. This was your line: history and the odds favor this lineup finding its footing and fighting as a contender in the SEC yet again. My favorite part, Tom, let the Razorbacks cook. What spurned this article? Did you just feel like the same way, like I've seen this before, or what made you want to write that one?
Well, yeah, I mean, we got plenty of history and data to show that they pushed the right buttons, and Dave Van Horn knows what he's doing. Now, am I convinced they're going to be a deep batting order 1 through 9? Their power numbers are going to remain the same, and they're going to deliver in run scoring situations, you know, runners in scoring position, et cetera. Not 100% convinced, but if the things they're doing don't work, they'll try different things. And that's why Dave Van Horn is one of the greatest of all time, because he's willing to do those things. He's willing to change his Friday night starter if he needs to. That's happened. And he's willing to tinker with the lineup, try different guys. He's given some of these freshmen at-bats and opportunities in case, you know, something like Nolan Souza being injured. They went to Gabe Frazier, and then they ultimately wound up with putting Reese Robinette in the lineup at first and Kozel at second. So they're willing to do those things, and that's why I say let them cook. And, you know, yeah, the concerns are going to linger until it becomes more and more of a trend. But the last few games have pointed up. And one thing you can't discount is how ill they were for those two games against, you know, Arkansas State and then UTA. It's a nebulous point, but how injured, how the flu and the strep that was going through the team, how did that affect them?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we do this every year. They drop one they shouldn't in February, and then there's this mass panic. But this is a team that gets better as the year goes on. They figure stuff out, and you go from playing 20 guys to okay, we know who our 9 are, and I feel like we go through this every year. And he weeds guys out of the bullpen, and he's got everything set. I just feel like we sometimes overreact because the bar is just so dang high for that baseball team.
It really is. I mean, it's an Omaha every year type of mentality. For Arkansas, obviously fans are on pins and needles for Dave to get that first one. I think much of the college baseball community is rooting for Dave Van Horn to get that first one because he's been on the brink so often, and you feel like he deserves it. He's been good to the game, and maybe the game will be good to him, and they'll get a favorable draw at some point or a break here or there, and they'll win one. I'm very fond of this pitching staff and the depth it has. And, Cooper Dossett struggles in his first chance to close a game, but they have other options, and I think Dossett will get it back as well. So the pitching, I wrote about it also. It was reminiscent to me of the 13-14 segue when they allotted their scholarships at that time to arms, and they were really good, and they didn't have quite the batting. Well, I think if the middle of the order stays, continues to hit. We're talking about Helfrich and Kojal and Aloy. To me, New is a piece that they've got to have New. He's hitting around 250, 260 right now. If he can hit 280, 290 and continue to deliver RBIs, that's a real key part. And then obviously you got to have one or two guys toward the bottom of the order between Souza, TJ Pompey, and Brumbaugh hitting as well. And if that happens, then I think fans will be satisfied with the offensive production as the season, as they enter SEC play.
Let the Razorbacks cook, says Tom Murphy, our guest here on the Morning Rush. Tom, we appreciate you stooping to this level and having to play with backup players this morning, but you did great as always, and we look forward to hearing from you with our normal crew. Ty and Tommy should be back on Tuesday, so thank you very much, Tom.
You guys did great too, man. I really enjoy breaking it down like this. Very informative, I hope, for the listeners, and y'all are doing great. See ya.
You always are, Tom. We appreciate you. That's Tom Murphy. You can read him in Whole Hog Sports and in the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tom, one of the great guys here in our business. He's brought to you this morning by Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's Grill and Cantina is ready to keep you excited about Tex-Mex and Arkansas game days. Arkansas basketball games and baseball games are televised on the big TV screens, and if you wear your Arkansas gear, you receive half-price apps and cheap taps, complimentary chips, and homemade salsa that are fresh made from scratch daily. And let me tell you, those homemade chips and salsa over there at Joe's, they would have to get the National Guard to pull me out of there if they gave those to me for free. Daily Mexican-inspired specials and happy hour deals 3 to 6. It's Joe's Grill and Cantina, where you can have the best fun watching Arkansas games and enjoying happy hour. Fast, friendly service, all at Joe's Grill and Cantina, across from Harps and Fort Smith on 74th Street. Zach, we have a call from someone who frequents your show, but he wanted to get on here this morning and talk to you. It's Dufresne in Fayetteville. Dufresne, good morning. How you doing?
Our local felon.
Hey, how are y'all doing this morning?
Great. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, so this is more of a 2 p.m. question, but I just wanted to kind of have a question to hear y'all's opinion on it. So I went to the game last night. We have upper bowl tickets. And so like any good father, I took my daughter down as close as we could sit in someone else's seat.
Absolutely.
And I got really close to that halftime show. And I just kind of felt like everything was happening around Hunter and not through Hunter. That was the kind of the energy in the stadium that I felt. You had all these Tyson people in there, and he's just up there kind of nervously clapping. So I'm wondering, my first question is, when is his contract up? And if he'd get a renewal?
Zach, this is all you. It's a 2 p.m. question.
I think his contract is up in 2 years. So he's here for a while. I've been very clear on where I think Hunter Yurachek is with this. I think he is he's a traffic cop at this point. I don't think he's leading anything. He was very present last night, which again, I'm very protective of Nolan. I love Nolan to death. I didn't need to see Yurachek anywhere in the frame with Nolan Richardson. Just my opinion, but that's look. He's having a good day today. I'm sure that they're going to hang another 7th place Directors Cup trophy over in the Broyle Center for everybody to see. So good luck to you. But you know how I feel about this.
Yes, sir, and that's why I kind of want to bring it up because I felt like it was leaning towards a great job, Hunter, propaganda move this morning, and the way I saw it was, man, I know people, I know how to read people. That's really all I'm good at, and I saw a nervous man up there last night, kind of like almost like a coup was forming in a sense, and it just seemed like the power was not in his hands last night, despite how front and center he was.
Well, Dufresne, I appreciate your call here this morning. That's very informative, and thank you for taking your daughter down to watch closer. He's right.
Don't do that.
That is
no.
that is a
you
good
sit
thing.
in the seats that you paid for.
Come on.
That's it.
Come
you
on.
sit in the seats you paid for, unless invited down by somebody in yellow.
The people that paid for those seats, why weren't they there for senior night against Texas?
Well, maybe they had something to do.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, Dufresne, I appreciate your call. I think that's his inaugural appearance here on the Morning Rush. But
congratulations, your first felon.
Yeah. No, that's
why
not,
his name
that's
Dufresne.
not true. I know that for a fact.
That is 100% true.
Well, I know he's a felon, but I'm saying that's not the first felon to call in from 9 to 11 or 6 to 9. I know that for a fact, but getting a little bit hot in here. Oh, man, it's getting hot, and so I might need a pool to cool down. And when you choose a pool, you're choosing how your family will spend the time together, and that's why families have trusted Burton Pools and Spas since 1978. Plus, when you choose a hot tub or sauna, you're investing in your health and well-being. Burton Pools and Spas has helped over 9,000 families ease stress, improve sleep, and feel better. Burton carries Hot Spring, #1 hot tub, and now offering Tylo saunas as well. With Burton, you will have a trusted partner long after the sale. Burton Pools and Spas, water for a better life, 4 locations in Springdale, Greenland, and Fort Smith at Hot Springs. Visit them online at burtonpools.com. Well, I appreciate Tom, talking to us a little bit about basketball and baseball and everything right there. And one of the things that I did want to talk about here, and we might get into this in our SEC update before we go, is the SEC standings. And just I think that Arkansas locked up their seat in the SEC tournament, but I don't know if I feel comfortable with some of the ways that people are talking about sitting A-Cup and playing A-Cup. It's just it's kind of a crapshoot. So we'll touch on that here in just a little bit in your SEC update, coming back in just a minute here on the Morning Rush. All right, Zach Arns, Colton Little back in just a second. This is the Morning Rush, your SEC update coming up next.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive hotline at 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive, where the ultimate challenge is back and 600 vehicles must be sold in March.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Trevin Brazil just brought them to their feet.
Sure
that was a poster right there.
This is the Morning Rush.
Basketballs bounce, cheerleaders cheer, and fans are flocking to the paint store in Van Buren. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their color matching. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their help with color selection. The paint store in Van Buren shares their expert advice from 35 years of experience. If you haven't been to the paint store in Van Buren, you are missing out. How about you give them a shout next time you need some real-life help you can't get on YouTube?
Take your tax refund the extra mile with a road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle at Wrap Auto Resources. We've been working around the clock to beef up our inventory, and we're proud to say this is our best, largest selection of road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles ever. With so many to choose from, price to sell, and back-to-back comprehensive warranty, there's no reason to settle for less. Come see why your friends and neighbors voted us the River Valley's #1 pre-owned car dealer and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Contractors, you know the right equipment makes all the difference. That's why you choose LG HVAC systems. Innovative, efficient, and built to perform. And at J&B Supply, we're more than just a supplier. Since 1968, our family-owned business has provided HVAC and plumbing pros with the products, expert service, and hands-on training to get the job done right. Check out the buzz around LG's new game-changing equipment today. For over 50 years, HVAC and plumbing pros have trusted J&B Supply in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville. J&B Supply, where the professionals go.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. The future of office printing is here with Xerox's Connect Key technology and cloud connectivity. Xerox offers seamless integration, top-notch security, and unmatched efficiency to help your business stay ahead. Don't miss out. Call us today at 783-6600 and ask about our special offer for a free Xerox color printer with many Xerox models. Dixie Digital Imaging, leading the way in office technology.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally held the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
What are you saying, Darius career high? Oh, okay. I didn't see it. Oh, wow. I knew we had 21 assists. What's that mean? We're winning. I told you that when we got back from Florida, I was in the office early in the morning, and I said, I'm saying, we have to practice. We went 10 days, no contact, no competitiveness, and you start losing your edge. So as I'm walking to go out, Darius is in the training room. And he said, Coach, I got to start practicing. And now I didn't keep him in the whole practice, but he wasn't in the boot. He was on there and he went. But you could tell that's the healthiest he's been in a while.
Cal's talking about Darius Acuff right there, obviously. And a lot of the rumors online, a lot of the thing, there's been some sentiment about the fact that maybe you want to sit him for the SEC tournament because really that doesn't matter. You've definitely punched your ticket to the big dance. Until you get to the SEC tournament, you do have to go play Missouri on Saturday at 11 a.m. South Carolina is taking on Ole Miss following that. Vanderbilt and Tennessee in a top 25 matchup there in the SEC. Georgia at Mississippi State, Florida at Kentucky, Texas A&M at LSU, Auburn at Alabama, and Oklahoma at Texas this weekend. And then going into the SEC tournament, Zach, it looks like you've locked up one of those top 4 seeds. You definitely won't be playing on Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not in the camp that you sit any of your guys whenever they're playing as well as they are on the offensive end against everybody else except for Florida. What say you? Do you think that Darius Acup needs to take a little bit of time off, get fully healthy during the SEC tournament? They're going to have a week of waiting in between their game in Como and before their game on Friday, more than likely in the SEC tournament. What say you?
Play Saturday, and then you're going to be off for 6 days.
Yeah.
So I think you're going down there with the idea that these are preseason games, because it really doesn't matter. You're going to get. I was looking at it, looking at kind of the draw the way it would set up now. You're either going to get Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, or Auburn in the first round if things hold, and you should be able to beat those teams. Playing 80%. Get to Saturday. Take your chances. If it works, great, but you're not going all in. We're not playing Acup 40 minutes on Saturday to try and win a quarterfinal game. If you win, great. Go to Sunday. If not, you're okay. Go down there to win one. Get yourself back in rhythm, and then get ready for the tournament, because that's what this is all about. That's why you play all of these games, is to get a high seed in the tournament. I think they'll be okay. I don't know that I would push Acup very hard. Again, like Tom said, I've worried about his usage rate since about mid-January. I've said this before. Like, if you can get the ball out of his hands coming up the floor, you take one thing off his plate that he doesn't have to do.
Yeah,
and I worry about the contact that he takes. I've never met Darius Acup. I don't know what his makeup is. I get the feeling that he just wants to play. He's a dog. He just wants to play, and that just that's looking in from the outside. I don't know how he feels every day when he wakes up. I'd imagine the beating that he takes is a lot like Anthony Black, where you're just banged up all season long, and fans gravitate to that sort of thing. That's a guy that is going to give you everything he has. So I would want him healthy, and whatever pathway that is. If he's a guy that needs to play, okay, you play him. If he's a guy that you think needs to rest him. I don't think the SEC tournament is do or die for Arkansas at all.
Yeah, and you mentioned right there how taking something off of his plate by bringing the ball up, that's where you have the emergence of DJ Wagner, who came on last night and shot 6 of 9 from the field and finished with 15 points, as well as 3 assists and grabbed a steal as well. DJ was one of the big stalwarts on your team last year that was helping you through some of the injuries and into that run deep into March. So hopefully he's able to continue to play at that level as well, and hopefully they can run through the rest of the SEC tournament, stay healthy, and make a big push in March when it really, really matters. Speaking of the SEC, here's your SEC standings as they sit right now. Florida at top. They've already claimed the regular season championship. They did that last week against Arkansas. They sit at the top at 15-2, followed by Alabama and Arkansas tied at 12-5. Then Tennessee at 11-6. Vanderbilt, Missouri, Texas A&M, and Kentucky all in a gridlock right there at 10-7. Georgia at 9-8. Texas also at 9-8 after last night's loss. After last night's ass-kicking at Bud Walton Arena. Auburn at 7-10, Oklahoma at 6-11, Mississippi State at 5-12, Ole Miss at 4-13, and LSU 3-14, as well as South Carolina. And that's going to do it for your SEC update here this morning. It's brought to you by Oaklawn Sports. Bet with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. March Madness is almost here, and with Conference Championship Week coming up, brackets will be set and busted soon as the NCAA crowns a national champion. You can also wager on football, the UFL basketball, in the NBA, baseball coming up, hockey, soccer, tennis, and table tennis, futures, outright winners, spreads, totals, player props, game props, and live in-game wagering. If you can name it, you can probably bet on it with the Oaklawn Sports app. Take advantage of the Oaklawn Sports new player offer because new customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Once you deposit, you are automatically enrolled in the promotion. You'll receive a second chance on your first bet each of your first 10 days for up to $100 in bonus bets per day. Download the Oaklawn Sports app. All right, a little bit of a shorter segment right here. Zach, if you taught me anything, it's that if I have the ability to eat up 10 minutes and kind of just waste time, I'm going to do that. So that's what we're going to do here in our next segment coming up.
I like that.
Yes, I have to go run point and run security over at the halftime broadcast today, which is going to be broadcasting live from the GAC Championships. The Great American Conference Basketball Championships are coming to Fort Smith, Arkansas. They're happening right now today through the 8th at Fort Smith Northside High School. You can see the best men's and women's teams in the GAC battle it out for automatic bid into the NCAA Division II tournament. Get your tickets and more information for the Great American Conference tournament at greatamericanconference.com. It's the GAC Basketball Championships happening March 5th through the 8th in Fort Smith. That is where Matt and Phil will be broadcasting live from today at Northside High School. I have to run up there and keep all the rabble-rousers and the riff-raff away from Matt Jones.
Hey, some good basketball up
and
there.
there's going to be some really good basketball as well.
Don't sleep on that.
No, I'll be rooting on my Wonder Boys and the Golden Suns up there from Arkansas Tech as a proud alumni, quietly as I can, I'm sure. That's what we're going to do here. Coming up in the SEC update is now finished. We appreciate all you guys listening today. On the other side of this, I do have a very special 10 minutes that I've put together of some of the very best moments of the Morning Rush completely out of context. So you guys will get to enjoy that here for the next 10 minutes. But of course, I could not let the SEC update slide away without wrapping it up with Tommy Kraft talking about Gaston's.
Hey, Gaston's White River Resort's the place we always like to get away. And saw Clint earlier this week and was over at Gaston's for a little while and just visiting with their staff. They are really busy. Spring break's going to be a busy time. A little bit of time left to enjoy a discount through February with winter rates. So you can do that towards the end of the month and this weekend or next. They've got availability. They'll have a special for March for spring break, so you can enjoy that whatever week you've got or weekend or few days you've got. Call them today, and they'll get you going for a great weekend or a great few days during spring break week of some great fishing. 870-431-5202 is their number. I can't think of a better thing to do with kids or grandkids than take them trout fishing on the White River. I mean, it's family memories you won't be able to replicate really anywhere else. Gaston's has maybe not the pool great for this time of year. Pool, tennis court that can be also used for pickleball. They've got all kinds of things to do when you're not on the water. Nature trails. They've got, I think one of the best things to do there is watch the planes come and go on their grass airstrip that planes are flying in of and out of all the time. It's a really neat place. People fly in just to eat at Gaston's. Their restaurant's that good. So 870-431-5202. It's all at Gaston's White River Resort. Ask about winter rates and spring specials at Gaston's. A first-class time. Every time.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive hotline at 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive, where the ultimate challenge is back and 600 vehicles must be sold in March.
We're number one. We're the greatest that there is. We're the Texas Shorthorn, son.
This is the Morning Rush.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Get ready for Mudbug Mayhem, the Crawfish Festival that's a true celebration of community, family, and culture. Join us March 7th at Chaffee Crossing Historic District for Cajun-inspired food, live music, local vendors, and a sizzling crawfish cook-off. Check out the car show, the cornhole contest. There's activities for all ages, and you can make memories with friends and family. Don't miss the fun. Mudbug Mayhem Crawfish Festival, March 7th. It's free to get in. Learn more at mudbugmayhemfest.com.
When our community needs someone to step up, Limbird Real Estate Group steps up. As a presenting sponsor of Champions for Children Giveathon, supporting Arkansas Children's Northwest, Tara Limbird and her team are invested in the families of Northwest Arkansas. And when it comes to selling your home, they step up there too. With over $1 billion sold, a full team of experienced agents, high-octane marketing, and even a cash offer in as little as 72 hours. Limbird delivers results. When it matters most, trust the team that shows up. Go to LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD team.com.
Looking for a career with a company built to last? At Forsgren, we've been shaping the future of the River Valley since 1936. Nearly 90 years of excellence, innovation, and family-driven leadership. From sidewalks that still stand today to major infrastructure projects across the region, our legacy is built on quality and community. Apply now at GoForsgren.com. Join the Forsgren legacy, where your work becomes part of something lasting. Forsgren, building the foundation of the River Valley for 4 generations. Apply now at GoForsgren.com.
Arkansas, it's time to team up and clean up. Celebrate America's 250th birthday by joining in on the greatest American cleanup. Happening now through May 31st. From picking up trash to planting wildflowers, there's so much you can do to keep Arkansas beautiful. Organize a cleanup event to make a real impact and earn volunteer hours if you're a student. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to register your event, request a volunteer kit, and get inspired. Brought to you by Keep Arkansas Beautiful, this station, and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We're hiring some great people. I'm a Kentucky fan. I'm not calling to bash you guys. I'm really not.
I just say what I want to say, and if you don't like it, you can hang up on me.
Hey, guys. Hey, Tommy. How was your weekend?
All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
We deserve a voice, and thanks to sports radio like y'all have, that's the only way we can get our message out.
Since 1946, no pressure, no hassle, just tradition.
Good morning. How y'all today? If you don't mind, I'd like to talk about something, get you guys' opinion.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. The celebration starts now.
Your familiar friends from 9 to 11. This is The Morning Rush, completely out of context.
This is 100% cold.
Yes, skinny white boy.
Cut that out. We're going to need that drop.
It's good to have some bullying, and not to a certain extent.
Hang on, let me get my seatbelt on.
It's only 7:41. Right. How are you already drinking this morning? Jeez.
Look who I work with.
Yeah, that's
Look who I work with.
I promise there's plenty of beavers in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I did once score 11 points in a 4th grade game. Does that count?
Your day can start now.
Eli's texting me now.
Is he? What is he saying?
He's very disappointed you wouldn't shake his hand. He thought it was really disrespectful.
Well,
what do you want me to tell Coach Drink here?
Stop kicking our ass at the last game of the year.
If he ends up as the head coach someday, though, I think I have enough of a relationship.
Yeah,
I could get you a job on the inside. Maybe you could be the guy that runs and gets the hush puppies at the catfish hole, during the coach's show. So he doesn't run out of catfish.
Do I get free food?
Yeah, all the hush puppies you can eat. Maybe he can get you an important job like that.
It's a sacrifice that I'd have to make.
Screw you, Canada! Don't boo our national anthem.
Bonus BONUS. What is?
I think you're more BONASS is what you heard.
Bone ass. Yeah, just spell that out there, guys. Just pee.
And that is cute that you think everybody that wants you at their wedding. That is kind of
just getting bullied today. What should be Wednesday?
Kind of adorable time.
Jeez. You want the PG-13 or like the
no? I mean, whatever.
I will give you a Thai tidbit this morning. You ready, Tommy? My hair grows other places.
All right, what were you going to chastise me over?
Is Hawaii west, like southwest? I always thought it was southeast. Below Florida. Is it south? I legitimately
you think Hawaii's where?
Southeast below Florida.
That'd be South America.
Okay, so Hawaii's down
southeast below Florida. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Makes a lot.
I thought it was down there, so it's down here. Okay. So yeah, you can hop,
I don't
skip,
think
and
it's
jump.
Down anywhere.
Hop, skip, and a jump, and
Colton, where's Hawaii?
What does that say?
What
did that say?
That says
do not move the headphone knob.
Is that your handwriting?
Insane. Yeah.
Well, that explains it. You know, you can get all liquored up and send us a voice message.
I'll tell you where the best athletes probably in Arkansas are. You're going to laugh. Probably in the prisons and in the jail.
Yes. Okay. Would you consider crawfish unique? It's unique, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It has its own specific rules for how you consume it, right? You twist ahead and you suck. So you got to be able to. So you got to be able
Say
to.
that again.
I'm good.
Tommy, you love hitting the ball, don't you? You love hitting the ball. We did get a text, and we talked about this earlier. The bong.
What's that?
I'll show you sometime. Well, now.
All rise. The forgettable Ty Richardson.
You can think that in your head, but you can't say it. How many things do you hold tight-lipped on certain matters?
Every day.
Because you have to. I know that's Clay. Jeez Louise. I know that's Clay's playing this weekend. He's going to join us on the other side. We'll get a chance to talk with him about that and some college football and a little basketball coming up next.
Like Hendricks, where the girls are girls and so are the boys.
I'm beef with you, Ty.
Oh, Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
That's like calling your second wife by your first wife's name. That's not going to fly.
If they throw you out for standing up for the national anthem, then you shouldn't have been
In
there
a
in the
booth?
first place.
In the booth. You're going to stand up in the booth.
I'm not ashamed to be an American.
No, we're just ashamed of you.
Sorry, guys. I'd like to have a serious conversation about trying to think out of the box just a little bit, if you didn't mind.
Come on. I would have been here probably 3 to 4 extra minutes of my normal commit, but I had to stop and get you guys some vitamin D. So I stopped and
I haven't eaten one of these donuts.
Got y'all some donuts, some vitamin D this morning. So give us some updates on the text line, 877-377-6963. It depends on where you're.
By the way.
Very professional, Time. Quit telling me it's the most Arkansas thing ever. No, it's not. Because the most Arkansas. No. You're wrong. You are wrong.
Now listen to this. It's a big deal. I'm probably going to put it on our social somewhere. We cracked the top 58. We're in the 58 of the running for 20 midday mid-market rate.
Hey, we're 58.
So I don't know if that means that we're number 58.
The Morning Rush finished 1 and 2 at this thing. Just saying.
Top dogs.
Top of the list.
How do you say it? Navigable?
Yeah.
Part of your schedule
Spell it
is
now.
more. Nope.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please don't try.
They got some girth.
Big old rack and a thick neck.
We're hiring low-grade people.
Are you a dancer?
I wouldn't. What do you think?
What is it? A TikTok or something?
It's like, well, if this happened, 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 I could date Jessica Alba.
No.
That's the equivalent of how Arkansas.
No.
Shout out to Zuck. He just wanted to rate hot girls at Harvard, and now he's a billionaire. Good for him. It's every man's dream.
I don't have a big ego. I just say what I want to say, and if you don't like it, you can hang up on me.
Pneumo ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
That sounds good.
You think you could handle that, the spicy side?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
New drink is a grapefruit tequila, because tequila is the healthier drinks, and I'm trying to get back in shape. Maybe I'm always just going to be the young kid on the show that I'm just going to get ripped till I'm like 70 years old. I guess
We're not going to be here that long.
Yeah, y'all be dead and gone by then.
No,
That's exactly right.
You won't be the young kid that's getting ripped. You'll be the old fart that's getting. You'll be the codger that's getting ripped. No, you're going to get ripped.
When we quit saying things, that's when you need to worry. When we quit saying anything.
No, you need to be worrying now.
It's a lot of pressure on me sitting next to a wordsmith like you that I don't always get it out right.
You dirty old man.
Summertime, people doing their thing.
Whoever okayed that for EA needs to be let go, because that was not. And there's some other coaches don't necessarily look exactly.
So you're a proponent of someone makes a mistake, you just fire them immediately.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
Just not when it comes to 10:08 to me and anything else. Yeah, 10:08. Mark the tape. Don't actually delete this hour and everything else. I want to hear you. Go ahead.
you're fired.
If you don't mind, I'd like to talk about something, get you guys' opinion.
The deterioration of my brain is happening quicker than I want it to.
That makes sense?
Yeah, yes. Took a sec, but yes.
This crap has been going on now for years, and I'm sick and tired of it.
So fingers crossed that happens. At least we are on a list when it comes to possibility of getting him.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, like we were, 48th mid-market, midday sports radio show we talked about. So at least we could be...
You just made that up, man.
No, I legitimately didn't. Go to Barrett Sports Media. I asked him if we were part of it, and he said, yep. And I said, okay.
Way down the list.
Should have made a plaque.
Tommy, you're on the right track. You're just sniffing the wrong trail.
Tommy, I'm going to go get a drink. I'm not doing this.
Thanks, Tommy. Good day to be a Razorback. What a game. They work out their practice on their choreographed touchdown dance, and they do blocking and tackling.
I thought about lying on my driver's license, list myself at 6 feet. I'm not 6 feet. I'm slightly under it at 5'11". But I've just never understood. Not 5'11". I've just never understood why they do that for basketball. No, I got measured the other day. I've actually grown.
Got measured where?
Wow. At the
someone needs a little shot of self-confidence.
The doc's on it. More than a shot. But I'm just kind of curious to see.
Someone's self-esteem is sagging a little bit.
Well, when you get berated from 6A to 7P sometimes on Arkansas Airways, it takes a toll.
Colton, I had no idea they needed to know your height before they did hair plugs. I had no idea.
Okay, send the check and I'll do it. You know how that works.
He can't make filet mignon out of bologna.
You have to get angry.
Happy birthday, 1-year-old kid.
It makes you wonder if they're getting in trouble because there was some betting action involved. I find it hard to believe that you're not going to pit two 11-year-olds together against each other and not put $5 down on the big one.
Nebraska State Capitol, and it's a real tall building. And I'll just say this is what it's called. It's a nickname. It's called the penis of the prairie.
I'm reading here the stats. No hurries, no sacks. They had ham and turkey sandwiches as Reed was able to unload the picnic basket back there a few times, unfold the blanket. He could just kind of stand there and munch on little finger sandwiches while he figured out where he was going on his 23 of 32 passes.
I knew y'all have the correct answer, so I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
A lot of alligators in there.
One of my favorite follows on social media is an Instagram account called Scenic Pisses.
In his own words, not my words, his words, so he could focus on that.
You okay?
Yeah, I hit myself with the microphone.
It looks like you're about to chip a tooth. I hope he's ready to shove it up my... Whoa! Little Ty gets a golden star.
What a hot mess of garbage this is.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
Zach, that was great. That was gold right there.
Yeah, if you want to know what mental illness sounds like, it's that. Whatever that was, that's mental illness.
It is a show that produces many funny moments, and that's just probably 20 or 30% of it. Man, good job, Colton, by the way, putting that together. He has a lot to work with the Morning Rush.
he's like Edward Scissorhands in there, cutting that stuff up. Good. I loved it. I did not realize that Ty had so many incidents. These are things that I guess Derek and I will need at some point so we can make our own drops out of it.
All right. Thanks for listening. It's the Morning Rush. Colton had to go get halftime set up. Halftime will come up shortly, just after this, at the top of the hour, 11-2 at the GAC Championship through the 8th. Man, that's pretty good, pretty entertaining basketball.
Lot of good basketball. And if look, Derek and I have said this 1,000 times. If you're going to Northside's Arena, get the Northside dog or get the Frito pie. You won't be disappointed. It is the best concession stand in the 6A West. Period. End of statement.
Get to the Northside Arena and listen to halftime coming up. Phil and Matt Jones and myself, Big C.
That stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it.